Alright, so when you're fishing a spoon, I've just got this football head on here, but I can still show you what I'm talking about. And this also applies when you're jig fishing. So I use two. You can either drag a jig, you can coast a jig, or you can drop a jig. And so with your spoon, when you're casting, where most people get into trouble, they'll cast it out there and then they snap it up and then they keep their line tight. Well, what happens, that spoon is not fluttering when you do that because you've got tension on it. So what you do is you have to leave a belly in your line. So you cast it out there and you want to pop it up, and then see how my line is bellied? You leave that belly and you're not impeding your action. So when you're dropping a jig and you want it to drop straight, you have to do the same thing. And if you use a coast retrieve, well, you pick it up and you let it coast towards you and you follow it down the contour. And that's, you know, your types of retrieve. But you see these guys fishing a jig all the time, and you know, a good example is this spring, and in the spring when the water's colder, you need a coast type. So you put it in, you just let it pendulum to you and follow the contour down the bank with it. And the guy fishing with me, he was picking it up and doing that, where he had a belly and it was dropping straight and he wasn't getting a bite, and I was catching one after another. Of course, I knew why he wasn't doing that. And he finally said, okay, he said, I know you're up there just laughing the crap out to yourself. Why is it that I'm not getting bit? And I said, because you're dropping your jig instead of coasting it. And I showed him that. Well, heck, the next cast he caught a 4-pounder.
There you go.
I mean, it's not rocket science, it's just understanding mood of the fish. And so every time, you know, there's even times in warmer weather that you end up having to coast it or drag it to get a bite, but most of the time when the water's above 58, well, that's when you need to let it drop and not coast it. And below 58, you better be coasting it.
So presentation is everything.
Yeah.